My name is Luz Ramirez. I'm 33, and I've spent most of my life being the quiet one, the forgotten youngest daughter in a loud, chaotic Latino family where silence was seen as weakness. My older sister Isa was always the star, beautiful, bold, married into a wealthy military family. Me, I work night shifts at a shipping warehouse in Phoenix, keep my head down and mind my business. Or at least I did. I always felt like the outsider, the one nobody expected to matter, especially not in a family full of secrets and tempers. But that all changed the night I got her call. The night she whispered that her father-in-law had hit her and her husband just watched. And before the line went dead, she begged me to come, because she thought he might kill her. The call came at 10:43 p.m. My phone buzzed inside my locker like it was alive, like it was panicking for me. I almost ignored it, thought it was a scam or another bot. But it was Mom's number. Except it wasn't her voice. Luz, Isa's whisper was cracked glass. Mom. He hit me again. I tried to smile through it. But this time it was over the food. The food, Luz. My chest hollowed. I pressed the phone harder to my ear, already running down the hallway, past the humming fluorescent lights. Who hit you? Isa, was it Victor? My voice dropped to a growl, a sob. Then he said it was too salty. I didn't even touch his plate yet. He slapped me so hard the chair broke. I stopped at the exit door, one hand on the push bar. Where's Marco? A silence that screamed. He sat there. She choked. He didn't move. He just watched. Something inside me snapped, like a thread pulled too tight for too long. Where are you in the house? The bathroom. I locked the door, but he's outside. I hear him breathing. Then a sound, a heavy knock. Isa gasped. He's at the door. Luz, please, if anything happens. The line cut. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I ran. My tires screamed against the night as I sped through empty roads. Phoenix was a blur, blinking neon, cracked pavement, forgotten gas stations. One thought burned, get to Isa. Get to her before someone else does. You don't leave family behind, I whispered. Not even when they forget you exist. Mom didn't answer when I called. I wasn't surprised. I turned onto the I-10, then onto the stretch near Mesa. Isa's neighborhood was upper middle, all desert lawns and white brick facades, where neighbors drank imported wine, but closed blinds at screams. Her street was dark. Victor's truck was still there, engine ticking, still warm, but the porch light was off. Not burned out, just off. I parked fast, left the keys, didn't close the door. Isa's house was quiet. Too quiet. No dog barked. No wind. No TV hum. I stepped up. Blood. Just a streak, small, smeared along the edge of the front doorknob. I knocked once. No answer. Twice. Then I whispered, I say, a creak. The door opened a hair. Just enough. I say, no answer. I pushed it open with my fingertips. The hinges groaned like something dying. Inside, the air was thick, metallic, stale. The living room light was off, but the kitchen bulb flickered like a dying eye. A chair was on its side. A bowl of rice spread like debris across the floor. I stepped in. No sign of Isa. The silence roared. A soft thud upstairs. My skin prickled. The hallway stretched like it didn't want me to walk down it. Each step was glass. I grabbed the nearest thing. Wooden spoon? Rolling pin? No, a broken table leg. Better than nothing. Isa. I tried again. Creak. Upstairs. A shadow moved past the stairwell. I froze. The house was supposed to be empty. I crept closer. No lights. Just the edge of the stair rail casting long. Broken stripes across the floor. And then, a voice. Not Isa's. Low. Male. Breathing hard. You girls always make things harder than they need to be. I stopped breathing. Victor. The same man who used to grin at Sunday dinners like he owned the world. The same man who'd shake your hand and squeeze just a little too hard, like reminding you who the wolf was. He was here. The blood on the doorknob. The silence. ISA hadn't run. She was still here. Somewhere. I backed into the kitchen, reaching for my phone. No signal. Of course. Another creak. This time louder. Victor was descending. I slipped behind the fridge, just in time to see the top of his head come into view. Sweat slicked my hands. Footsteps. I tightened my grip on the table leg. A whisper, unsteady, broke past my lips. You picked the wrong sister. And that's when I knew whoever was upstairs wasn't ISA. I didn't breathe. He moved slow. Heavy steps. Like he wanted me to hear. The fridge motor buzzed behind me, the only sound in the kitchen. That, and the creak of stairs surrendering under boots. Victor Devereux, the man who once toasted Christmas dinner with cheap whiskey and sermons about discipline. The man ISA married into like she was buying peace in monthly payments. He stood on the bottom step now, face dipped in shadow. His shirt clung to him, stained dark down the side. Blood? Wine. Hard to tell. You shouldn't be here, he said, voice low. I didn't respond. I held the table leg tighter, thumb trembling. He stepped forward. Just one step. I moved back. Where's ISA? My voice cracked before I could stop it. He paused, tilted his head like I was a dog that barked out of line. She left, after her little performance, stormed out barefoot, said something about needing space. Lie. Her shoes were still by the door. ISA never left barefoot. Ever. You expect me to believe that? I said. He smirked. You Ramirez girls never learn when to keep your mouth shut. I raised the table leg like a bat. Try me. A beat passed. Silence thickened. His jaw flexed once, then he stepped back. I'm not gonna hurt you, he muttered. You're not the one who disrespected this family. Disrespected. Like she was property. Like blood on her face was her fault. I moved fast. Out the side door into the yard. Desert wind hit me hard. Cold against sweat. My phone finally buzzed. Voicemail. ISA's voice. Raspy. Hurried. If anything happens, I love you. Then static. My lungs collapsed. Across the street, I spotted her neighbor, Mrs. Cutler, peeking from behind her blinds. The second our eyes met, she ducked back like a guilty kid. I crossed fast, pounded on her door. It didn't open. I yelled, I know you saw something. No answer. I was screaming to ghosts. Back to the house. I circled toward the trash bins, scanning, flashlight in hand. A shape in the dark. Something small. Shiny. I knelt. ISA's phone. Cracked screen. Blood. Smeared along the edge. The final text unsent. If Victor finds this, he'll kill me. I gripped it so hard, I felt the glass slice my palm. A noise behind me. I turned. A figure in the shadows. Walking toward me slow. Hands up. Marco. ISA's husband. He looked like hell, shirt wrinkled, eyes bloodshot, a trembling twitch in his left hand. What are you doing here? He asked, voice raw. I should ask you that, I said. Where the hell is my sister? He hesitated. Too long. She left. I don't know where she went. Lie again, I break your nose. Look, I didn't touch her. I never laid a hand. It was my father. He snapped. But it's under control now. Is she alive? Marco didn't answer. I stepped closer. Say it. She's hurt, but she's okay. He was sweating, even in this wind. His eyes wouldn't stay on mine. Scratch marks on his forearm. Fingernails dragged deep. She fought you, I said. No, she fought him. Liar. Where is she? She ran. I swear. If you're lying. I'm not, but I think she took something. That stopped me. What? Marco glanced around, lowered his voice. Something from Victor's files. Something she found in his office. He's been in a panic ever since. He thinks she gave it to someone. What kind of something? I don't know. Documents. A folder called Red something. Red Legacy. He didn't notice my reaction. Or maybe he did and didn't care. She was going to send it to someone. Government, maybe. And now I think someone's following me. His voice dropped further. You ever feel like your whole house is watching you, even when you're alone? I said nothing. My hands shook. We heard footsteps. Distant. Getting closer. Marco tensed. We need to go. A car rolled by. Black SUV. Windows tinted too dark for street legal. Engine humming like a warning. I grabbed Marco's arm. You tell me everything. Now. I can't. You don't get to protect them anymore. You don't understand. It's not just my father. There are other people involved. People you don't cross. Try me. The SUV slowed. The passenger window rolled down halfway. Inside, just darkness. Like a void. Then a voice. Soft as velvet. You have what we want. Hand it over. Or the sister dies. The car rolled on. Vanished around the corner like mist. Marco looked at me. Face pale. Eyes empty. They're not here for ISA, he whispered. They're here because of what she found. And they think you have it. That's when a second shadow stepped out behind me. Someone I wasn't expecting. The second shadow didn't belong to Victor. Or Marco. She moved like smoke. Fast, silent, sharp edges in motion. A hoodie, tight black jeans, sneakers dusted in desert sand. Her eyes met mine, cold and precise. Then she said my name. Luz Ramirez. I froze. Do I know you? She pulled back the hood. Brown skin, mid-30s, high cheekbones, scar under her left eye. Rosa Alvarez, she said. I worked with ISA. She trusted me. Marco stepped forward, tense. Why the hell are you here? Rosa ignored him. ISA sent me the first half of the Red Legacy file 3 days ago. I've been tracking her since. Then she vanished. She didn't vanish, I said. Someone made her disappear. Rosa's jaw clenched. That someone might be closer than you think. She turned to Marco. And you better pray she's still breathing. He flinched. Didn't argue. Let's move, Rosa snapped. They're watching the house. If they think you have the drive, they'll come for you. I don't have any drive, I said. Her eyes narrowed. Then what the hell was ISA hiding for? Cut scene. We drove. Rosa's car was beat up, windows tinted too dark. She didn't speak for the first 10 minutes. Neither did I. Marco sat in the back, nursing a bruise on his cheek. Secrets don't kill people, Rosa finally muttered. But who you give them to does. We pulled into a vacant gas station, 2 exits, off the I-17. No lights. Only a busted vending machine humming in the dark. Rosa opened her glove box, pulled out a small hard drive, silver, labeled only with red tape. This is what ISA risked everything for, she said. Half the network. But without the second key, it's worthless. Second key. She encrypted it, split the file into 2 parts. Yours is the second. I blinked. What do you mean mine? She listed you as the fallback. You worked shipping, right? Helped Marco organize Victor's storage files a few months ago. My stomach dropped. There was a folder, labeled Red Accounts. I thought it was company debt files. I opened them once. Just numbers. Maps. Guide instructions. I didn't understand, just closed it. She never told me, I whispered. Because if she did, Rosa said, you'd be dead already. Cut to headlights in the distance. A black truck, engine roaring toward us. Rosa grabbed the drive. Move. Now. We jumped into her car. She hit the gas. Gravel spit from the tires. They're here. I shouted. They never left. The truck followed. Fast. Too fast. I saw that vehicle outside ISA's place, Marco said, breath ragged. Same tags. Then they're not amateurs. Rosa turned sharply. They're cleaners. What's a cleaner? They erase problems. Permanently. Screech. Turn. Down a dirt path toward an abandoned veterinary clinic. Rosa cut the engine. We jumped out. Inside, she ordered. Now. The clinic was dust. Shattered windows. Faded posters of puppies smiling above blood-stained tiles. Rosa led us into a back office. Slammed the door. Locked it. This is where ISA met me last, she said. She left something. From a loose panel in the wall. She pulled a zip bag. Inside, ISA's burner phone, another USB stick, and a handwritten note. She was scared, Rosa whispered. She thought Victor knew. What's on that? I asked. She slid the USB into her laptop. Click. Open folder. Documents. Names. Wire transfers. Offshore accounts. And one file labeled L. Ramirez, contingency plan.pdf. I stepped back like it bit me. What the hell is that? Rosa opened it. My name. My address. My workplace. Bank account logins. Photos. Of me. From outside my apartment. Me getting into my car. Me at work. They were watching me. I breathed. You were ISA's last resort, Rosa said. But Victor made sure he had his own backup plan. The file ended with 2 words. Terminate if necessary. Marco turned pale. They were going to kill you, Rosa said. If ISA failed to deliver, you were next. My voice shook. Why me? Rosa looked at me. Not soft. Not cruel. Just honest. Because you're invisible. And people don't expect invisible women to fight back. She handed me the drive. You have to decide now, Luz. Run or burn it all down. The door creaked. Outside, boots scraping tile. Someone had found us. We've been chasing the wrong monster. And now it's hunting us. The sound of boots scraped closer. Rosa's breath hitched. Marco backed into the corner like a rat under floodlight. I reached for the makeshift weapon again, a metal desk lamp. Not much, but it had weight. The door shook. Once. Twice. Go, Rosa mouthed. Back exit. We moved. Hallway. Dim. Linoleum cracked, like old teeth. Fluorescent lights, flickering overhead like they were about to die. At the end, steel emergency door. Chained. I got it, Marco muttered, fumbling with the bolt cutter Rosa handed him. Snap. Chain fell. The door groaned open. A man stood there. Suit. Gloves. No face, just mirrored sunglasses and a jaw too calm for midnight murder. He didn't speak. Raised something black. Silenced. Gun. I reacted before I thought. Swung the lamp. Crash. Glass. Screaming. He stumbled back. Fired. Bullet tore past my ear into the wall. Sparks. We ran. Desert wind hit us like a scream. We ducked behind Rosa's car as bullets punched through metal. I parked too close, she cursed. Back exit of the clinic has a basement chute, Marco said. They used it for animal disposal. Dark thought, but better than dead. We ran. The chute door was rusted, half-hinged. Rosa kicked it open. Inside, blackness. And a drop. No other choice, she said, then disappeared into it. I followed. Fell hard. Concrete. Rolled. Dust in my lungs. Marco landed behind me, grunting. Above, footsteps. Flashlight beams cutting through floor cracks. I coughed. What now? Rosa pointed. There's a tunnel. Old utility. Leads to the water plant. How do you know that? She didn't answer. We ran through the tunnel. The air was metallic, damp, smelled like rot and secrets. At the far end, light, dim yellow, a rusted door. Rosa kicked it. We emerged behind the abandoned plant. Silence, not safety. We climbed the fence. Scraped hands, torn sleeves. My knees ached. Then the siren. Low, far, but coming. Rosa checked her phone. They set off an alert. We've got minutes before the local precinct is fed some half-baked story about us trespassing with intent. Marco looked broken. They'll spin it as domestic terrorism if they need to. That's what happens when you have friends in Homeland, Rosa muttered. I turned on him. Start talking. Now, what exactly is Red Legacy? He hesitated. I grabbed his collar. You owe me every answer. He swallowed. It's an offshore fund, but not just money, contracts, private security, data, names of political donors, judges, senators, leverage. And Victor owns it? He protects it. The real owners, they're ghosts. Faceless. They use men like him to enforce silence. I guess I got too close. She found the wrong document. Something that tied Red Legacy to military projects, black budget stuff. She panicked. She tried to run. He nodded. Victor sent someone to silence her. I think he still believes she's out there, or that she sent a copy of the files to someone. She did, Rosa said. Me. Silence. Rosa's phone buzzed. 1 bar. Unknown number. She answered. On speaker. Dead static. Then a voice. Shaky. Whispered. Luz? My knees gave out. Isa. Oh my God, oh my God. They have me. I don't know where. Underground, maybe. Static. I hid the second drive. Luz in a... Click. Line dead. No trace. I stared at Rosa. She's alive. And running out of time, Rosa said. Marco leaned against the brick wall, face white. They'll track that call. If it pinged your phone. They already did, Rosa cut in. A black SUV appeared at the end of the alley. No headlights. Silent. They were here. Again. Rosa pulled a burner from her coat and shoved it into my hand. Go to Flagstaff. Old motel, called the Hollow Pine. Room 107. ISA left something there. What about you? She pulled a gun from her waistband. I'll buy time. I hesitated. You once told me, Rosa whispered, the invisible ones survive by knowing when to strike. This is your time. I grabbed Marco. We ran. Down the alley. Into the night. The SUV door opened behind us. We didn't look back. Because if we did, we'd see who was getting out. And it wasn't Victor. We came to a stop under neon haze at 2:17 a.m. The motel sign flickered. Room 107. My pulse slammed against my ribs. Rosa slipped the hard drive into her coat. Her eyes caught mine. This is it. We moved. Inside the room, stale air, peeling wallpaper, a bedspread dusty as old regrets. Rosa shut the door, locked it. I sat on the edge of the bed. Lamp light flickered. My fingers hovered over the laptop keyboard. Rosa exhaled. Open it. She slid the drive into the USB port. Screen glowed. Folder list. Red Legacy. Contracts. Banks. Guairtrals. Photos. Judges, businessmen, public officials. Faces blurred. Ties clean, hands tied to money. Then a file. L. Ramirez. Contingency plan.pdf. My name burned on the screen. I stared. There it was. My driver license scan. My address. My bank account number. My work shift schedule. Photos. Me walking from warehouse to truck. Me fixing a box. Me driving out of Phoenix. A second folder. Contacts, Jonah M. I froze. Rosa leaned over. They built a kill list around you. My breath hitched. Everything they expected ISA to blow wide open. If she couldn't deliver, you were plan B. Terminate if necessary. That was the note stuck to the file. I shut my eyes. Memories. Smothering. A knock on the door. Fast. Sharp. Not a knock, a panic slam. Rosa jumped. They moved faster than we thought. I leapt up. Marco reached for the window. It wouldn't open. The handle rattled. Shit. Rosa hissed. Footsteps outside, heavy, steady. Get to the bathroom, Rosa said. Now. I crawled behind the shower curtain, heart hammering. Marco jammed a chair against the door. Windows rattled. Voices. Growls. I couldn't make out words. My pulse throbbed louder than the footsteps. Then light hit the mirror. A glare. The door snapped. Chairs smashed against wood. Shards flew. The door broke. A man walked in. Silhouette framed by the hallway light. He scanned. My lamp flickered. His face black under hood. Gun raised. But Rosa rushed him, body slamming into him. Glass from the mirror showered like rain. Drop it, she yelled, voice low brittle. Gun muzzle spark. We erupted. I shoved the mirror shards like broken promises at him. Marco pushed him off balance. Rosa punched. Then a shot. A bullet drilled through the lamp base. Sparks exploded. Glass, then darkness. I went blind with adrenaline. I screamed, Marco. Pain. I yelled his name. Then a second shot. Pain through my leg. I collapsed next to the nightstand. Rosa stayed on her feet while died, breathing fast. She grabbed the drive, the one they came for. The figure drifted backwards, then ran. Darkness swallowed him. Sirens cut over the night, far but closing. Rosa pulled me up. We move. Now. I limped. We staggered down the stairs. Outside, black SUV idling at curb. A man in dark coat tossed a bag in the back seat. The rest of the drive collection. Another bumped the SUV door, but then froze. Headlights off. Engine silent. They were supposed to be pros. Tonight, they failed. Rosa grabbed the drive. We have what we need. She typed quickly on her phone. Small burner. Encrypted message. Sent. Within less than a minute, a different SUV screeched around the corner, flashing red and blue lights. Not killers. Cups. We ran toward the police cars, waving hands. An officer yelled, Freeze! Step away from the car. Hands up. Shaking. Blood and dust. I whispered, kill list exposed. Rosa didn't smile. We survive by knowing when to strike. Policemen cuffed the men at the SUV. Flashlights raked the pavement. I collapsed against the hood of a cruiser, gasping. Blood on my leg. Pain blurred edges of light. A detective held out gloves. You okay, ma'am? I nodded. They lied, but the truth burns everything down. He glanced at the drive. We'll need statements, full statements. Rosa leaned in close, voice husky. They don't know how many names are in that file. I looked up at the sky. Night was cold, empty, but I wasn't invisible now. Not anymore. Take their cuffs off, I muttered. I want names. The drive clicked. Evidence bag sealed. Blood. Lies. Money. Secrets laid bara. Outside. Sirens fading. Dawn still hours away. I closed my eyes. When I opened them, the first light of a new day hit me. She cried for help. I came. Now, they'll remember our names. They moved ISA before dawn. We learned it from a burst of intercepted chatter. Rosa played the recording on her cracked phone as we sat in the back of an unmarked cruiser. Blood drying on my jeans. The smell of smoke still caught in my hair. Sector 4 extraction site. Terminate assets, if compromised. Terminate assets. My sister. Me. Anyone who touched Red Legacy. Fear is a currency, Rosa murmured, staring out the window. And people spend it fast when the walls start falling. Cut scene. The police convoy stopped outside an old hydro plant near the Verde River. Concrete walls sweating in the cold morning air. Officers took positions. Guns raised. Radios hissing. Detective Sloan stepped toward us. We found heat signatures inside. 2, maybe 3. We breach in 60 seconds. 60 seconds to see if ISA was alive. 60 seconds to see if this whole nightmare had a pulse left. My breath stuttered in my chest. You don't need to go in, Sloan said. I do, I answered. Some doors you only get one chance to open. I limped forward, pain sharp but ignored. Marco stayed behind with medics, hand pressed to his ribs. He whispered after me, bring her back, Luz. Don't let them take her story. I nodded. Inside, the air was cold enough to bite. Lights flickered overhead, long white tubes humming like dying bees. Water dripped from somewhere above, steady as a countdown. Officers split left and right. Rosa took point beside me. You ready? She asked. No, I said. But I'm going anyway. You remind me what my mother used to say, Rosa whispered. Courage is the moment you stop waiting for permission. Cut scene. We passed through a service tunnel, metal under our boots, echoing like a warning. The smell of bleach hit first, then something else, something heavier, a muffled cry. My heart jumped. ISA. A voice answered, hoarse, trembling. Luz. I ran, burst into a narrow chamber lit only by a single hanging bulb. In the center, ISA. Tied, bruised, but breathing. She saw me and broke apart like a dam giving way. Luz, don't, behind you. I spun. Victor. He stepped from the shadows, gun leveled at my chest. Not shaking, not unsure, just cold, like this was his morning routine. You should have stayed invisible, he said. People like you don't get to rewrite the rules. Rosa raised her weapon. Drop it, Victor. He laughed. Do you even know who you're playing against? Red Legacy isn't a man. It's a machine. It was here long before you, and it'll exist long after your bodies are zipped up. Machines break, I said, and you're going to break first. He cocked the hammer. Sloan shouted from the hall, Victor, put it down. Victor didn't blink, didn't flinch. Your sister stole from me, Luz. The least I can do is end this quick. ISA screamed. No. A flash of movement. Rosa lunged sideways, drawing his aim. A gunshot exploded. Concrete, dust blew into the air. My ears rang. But the bullet wasn't in me. Or Rosa. Victor jerked, confused. Gun slipping from his fingers. A second shot hit his leg. He collapsed. Behind him stood Detective Sloan, face stone, gun still raised. Hands behind your head, Sloan said. You're done. Victor laughed as 2 officers restrained him. You think this ends with me? You haven't even met the architects. But I wasn't looking at him anymore. I was already on my knees, cutting ISA free. Her wrists shook. Her breath trembled against my shoulder. I thought I'd die here, she whispered. I thought you'd never find me. I will always find you, I said, even in the dark. Cut scene. Later. Sun blazing over the river. Police cars everywhere. Victor shoved into a cruiser, cursing threats that drifted away like smoke. Paramedics loaded ISA onto a stretcher. She held my hand tight. You didn't have to do this, she murmured. Yes, I said. I did. Why? I looked at her, at the bruises on her face, at the way she tried to shrink herself smaller, like the world wanted less of her. Because women like us aren't meant to disappear, I whispered. We rise, even when the world roots for our silence. Her eyes softened. Tears, but different ones this time. Rosa walked over, bruised blood on her knuckles. Red Legacy's going down. The files are with federal investigators. You two might have just cracked the spine of an empire. I didn't feel triumphant, just tired. Empires fall slow, Rosa added, but they always fall. Gravity doesn't take bribes. Cutscene. Weeks later. ISA safe. Recovery slow, but steady. Marco testified. Courage in his voice now. Victor denied everything, but evidence stacked around him like a cage. Rose had disappeared again, slipping back into whatever shadow network she belonged to. She left me one message. When the world forgets you, that's when you become most dangerous. I kept it. Some nights, I still flinch at footsteps, still check windows twice, still sleep with the lamp on. But I'm not the invisible daughter anymore. Not the quiet one. Not the one they underestimated. I tell ISA this as we sit on my porch, sunlight warm against our faces. I used to think survival was about being small, I say, but maybe it's the opposite. Maybe survival is refusing to shrink for anyone. She nods. Maybe survival is choosing yourself. It is. Wind brushes past us soft, finally soft. You know, ISA whispers, all my life I thought strength meant staying, enduring. But that's just another lie they teach women. What's the truth? I ask. That strength is leaving before they break you. I take her hand. The world is still dangerous, still full of monsters wearing wedding rings and uniforms and family names, still full of systems built to silence the smallest voices. But the smallest voices learn to scream. Then they learn to fight. Then they learn to rise. And sometimes they burn down the whole dam structure. The sun sets slow behind the Phoenix horizon. Warm. Gold. Quiet. ISA leans her head on my shoulder. You saved my life, she says. I shake my head. No. You saved your own. I just showed up. She smiles. For the first time in months, a real one. And in the quiet, I understand something I didn't before. Violence tries to erase people, but love, relentless, stubborn, imperfect love, writes them back into the world. I whisper it aloud, mostly to myself. No one gets to decide our ending but us. And this time, I know it's true.